Is it automatically recording?
I pressed it like as soon as I got in here.
Listen, bitch, you were on top of it. I don't know, Ariana, tell me about your week.
Let's see. My plants are growing. I planted more, but can I just say, still on TikTok, like a fucking boomer.
Wait, Kendall, do you have TikTok?
I don't. One of my girlfriends is always telling me I need it, and I just can't bring myself to do it.
You need it.
You need it.
It's a really great time waster. If you're trying to be productive, download it because you won't be.
Perfect. I need more of that in my life.
Yes.
Yeah, just still on TikTok watching people do some dumb shit. I've fallen down the hole of like lesbians. So like I've liked lesbian videos and now my whole follow for you page or whatever is just a bunch of lesbians. So
I'm not mad about that.
no, not mad.
I was going to tag you in one video a few days ago questioning my sexuality because I was very attracted to this girl. I mean, she looked like a boy. But I mean,
Yeah.
I was very attracted to her, and I was like, I need to tag Ariana in this. What's wrong with me?
I mean, I literally followed one of the lesbians on Instagram, so I'm like taking a step forward in the opposite direction.
Wait, it's not an underage lesbian, is it?
No, this one's aged, so
Okay.
it's fine. Yeah, because there's a lot of children on there. I'm just like, oh God.
See, that's my biggest problem is I feel like I've watched too many YouTube videos about pedophiles on TikTok. I'm
Like us.
you're a 32-year-old lady. What are you doing? Don't get TikTok. But
Oh my God, that's definitely me. I am the 32-year-old lady that's gonna go to jail.
I mean, there's like 50-year-old women on there, but they have the weird videos where it's like at the weirdest angle above their face and too much makeup, and they're like lip syncing, but the words don't match up.
Yeah, they're using their like BlackBerry to film it, and you're like, oh no.
see, I'm afraid I'm gonna get on TikTok and I'm gonna be that lady, but to a 16-year-old, they're gonna be like, I watched this girl, and she's just not it.
But I mean, I don't post videos. I'm like that creeper that just likes all the videos and tags Caroline and everything.
Okay.
I post videos because I'm fucking famous.
Oh yeah, Caroline's actually TikTok famous. She has what the kids call clout. So
Oh, bitch. What the kids call clout. I mean, I only have I think 10,000 followers,
That's a
and
lot.
I mean, really, it's not though, because this girl named Charlie.
fuck her.
Hold on, I gotta put my headphones on. Okay, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. Can't hear you. Hold on. To go. I just wanted to put my headphones on.
Oh, okay. Continue with your TikTok famousness.
Charlie.
Oh,
Yeah, Charlie. That's right. Yep.
oh yeah, Charlie. She has millions of followers, and she's 15. I mean, so 10K is not anything.
Yeah, and she does the same dance moves over and over again, and I'm totally fucking hating on her right now. It's so stupid.
I want to support her because,
I don't.
feminism and, whatever, and she's a baby, but I can't because she's not.
Okay, well, she's
she
also
can't
super
dance.
rich. She's super rich too, so she does not need my support.
I feel like I have a problem with that a little bit. At some point, when you're making tons of money, as a child, are your parents getting that? And then are they basically your parents? I just
So
can't.
true.
They're feeding you and putting a roof over your head, but also taking a cut of your TikTok money.
Whoa, I did not even think of that.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't either, because think about these YouTubers, these YouTube kids that make their toy review. There's this one kid, Ryan's toy review. Yes. And his parents just bought a brand new house. Is that YouTube money? Is that dirty money?
Oh my God.
I feel like a lot of times, the right thing to do is to put it into some type of trust.
Right?
Like, they get money at certain, like, checkpoints in their life, like, when they graduate college or when they get married or, like, something. Just, like, I don't know. I don't know
I
if
agree.
that's right. But kids are expensive, and I'm not a parent, so, like, I shouldn't say, but it's just weird.
We know nothing about children. Well, Ariana, you do, but
I
you
mean,
can account for how expensive they are.
my child doesn't do anything, so I don't know. Can't really hop on that board either. Can't relate.
Honestly, though, now that we're talking about it, if I could just, like, have a kid and they make enough money for me to just, like, pay off my student loans, like, maybe.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
That's
like maybe just pay off your stuff and then be like, the extra can go to you.
Yeah.
But mommy made you, so mommy comes first.
That's right.
Is
Mommy's
that
the boss.
New student loan plan? Is that my new payoff strategy?
First, have child. Second, make like, YouTube videos.
Fuck the avalanche method. Have a baby.
Go into a little bit more debt.
Star.
Have a little bit of debt to have baby, then make baby famous.
I'm here for it.
Kendall, how was your week?
So far so good. I actually went to the dentist like a couple hours ago and was like, how is it that I'm like getting a filling and then like in 2 hours gonna like do this? So, like that's just like my life. Like I could not be worse at planning like anything.
Oh my god.
So it's fine.
Time management, not a strong skill of yours.
No, not at all.
That's okay because you're really good at other things.
I was like, I can get a filling and be on a podcast on the same day.
It's fine.
I mean, maybe that is good time management because look at you just doing stuff.
Here I am.
Knocking them out, getting it done. So
shout out to Tylenol with codeine, though.
Shout out to Tylenol. Today's sponsor.
Yeah. Yeah, so was that your week? That's basically it. You got a filling and you're on a podcast.
I mean,
killing it.
That's pretty much it. I feel like work right now is like really slowed down. We have like a kind of like team outing tomorrow, so probably gonna like roll up late.
Yes. Yes.
That and leave. Like probably will also take PTO on Friday. So.
Oh hell yeah, that's a good week.
2-day work week. Also didn't go to work today, so.
I saw your post on Instagram that you like were doing stuff with your boyfriend.
Yeah, we just like had a little co-working date. I just so I had this dentist appointment, and of course it's like right in the middle of the day, and then you show up and they're like, yeah, we're like 2 hours behind schedule. I'm like, oh, that's fine. I don't have anything to do. Like be at work.
So nothing.
So nothing. Yeah, I don't have anything to do. So. My boyfriend works remotely most of the time, so we had a little co-working day. It was fun.
I love it. I wish I could do that with my husband, but no.
No, I would not choose that.
Oh my god.
Love you, Gordon. Although you don't listen to the podcast, okay, so it's fine.
Our super supportive husbands.
Yeah. Listen, I made an iTunes account today to leave us a review. And you know how long that took me? Probably 45 fucking minutes. Because for the first 30 minutes, I couldn't figure out how to leave one on Google Podcasts.
I feel
so
like
then,
my
yeah.
So like, he like knows about being in a budget, but he doesn't really like. I'm like, you don't need to read my shit.
You don't need to know what goes on in my life.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
He has like a personal account though, so he's not on. Like he only has an account for his band. So I'm like, you don't follow me.
I guess that makes sense then, because it's kind of like, mind your business.
I don't follow him either, though, so.
Well, I mean, hey, that works. My husband doesn't even have social media. If you Google him, you can't even find him.
Oh.
He could commit the perfect murder.
See, I feel like my, like, actual real name is, like, too specific. Like, 100% you're finding me. If you know my first and last name, like, you can find all of my stuff.
Yeah, same. Mine's very specific.
Yours is really.
And like I made my maiden name to my middle name, so it's like literally I'm the only person on the planet with this name, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you did that or if you just had it on your social media.
No, I like that's my legal ass name. I'm not like one of those bitches that just like moves it sideways just cause like, yeah, it's my God-given new name.
I just heard Rich yell from the other room, and I'm not sure why.
Oh my God. I hope Piper's okay.
She's probably fine. I have my headphones on, so I'm out of office.
I'm at work right now.
I just want to say, and I hope Gordon listens to this episode. I requested to be his friend through our podcast account, and he accepted, but did not follow back. So, just gonna leave that there.
That's
you know who
my
is
man,
gonna
y'all.
listen to this though? My mother.
She will?
100%. So my mom follows my debt-free account. So I haven't had a personal Instagram in like 2+ years. And then I got this debt-free account. So my mom follows, but I like told her like after a while, like after I had like a decent amount of followers, and I was like, I'm gonna tell you about this thing, and you can follow it, but you are not to like anything, or not to comment on anything. And now she's like full on like Kris Jenner. Like she'll like text me and she'll be like, so I was thinking of a new post idea.
Yes,
like,
Mama. Yes, I love it.
Hey, Sharon,
momager.
Sharon, the momager. I haven't even told my mom that we have a podcast. So, Sharon, if you'd like to fill in my shoes for a momager,
did I not tell you that Mel followed us?
When did she follow us?
So she added me on Facebook.
Wow, okay.
Or I added her. I can't remember.
When did all this happen?
Like this past week. Do you guys not talk?
Yeah, we talk like every day. She didn't even tell me that she knew I was doing this.
Well, she was low-key going to follow us and like bring it up to you in probably a passive-aggressive way.
Probably.
Like, see, I saw that you have a new podcast and I had to find out through your co-host.
Do you even love me?
If your mom isn't passive-aggressive towards you, though, like, does she even love you? Like,
is her name even Elizabeth?
Facts. Is that Melanie? Sharon, hello?
So yeah, Melanie is now wild and woke.
Oh, lit. Okay, I'll have to text her later and be like, surprise.
Leave us a review.
Yeah, Melanie, you have an iTunes account already. I set it up.
And then my mom and my dad both listened to it, and my dad was like, "You cuss a lot."
Listen, Dad.
And my mom was like,
"The youth."
Right. My mom was like, "You guys are really funny, and you just giggle so much."
Because we're having fun. Okay, we're almost 30. This is fun.
It's fun. This is what we do for fun. Okay, so we've done our little introductions. Kendall, do you want to kind of talk about why you started your Instagram account and, tell us about yourself?
So I am Kendall, or on Instagram, Bae on a Budget. So I run an account that's dedicated mostly to my own personal finance journey, but essentially is a whole Instagram account dedicated to personal finance, specifically geared towards women. I started my account in July of this year, so July 2019. But basically, I majored in English, then went to law school, didn't have any student loan debt from undergrad or credit card debt. I bought my car in cash, so I thought I was kind of doing fine, right? I just kind of lived with the idea that student debt was like good debt, just made auto payments and kind of forgot about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, like, I think a lot of people do, especially
Guilty.
when you have, like, a shit student loan debt, and, like, people do tell you, they're like, oh, it's good debt, and I was like, yeah, I own my car, I don't have credit card debt, like, I'm doing fine. And then one day I was on YouTube, which, like, I don't have TikTok, but I'm obsessed with YouTube.
Same.
Like, favorite ever. I love that you can just go on and literally post, like, whatever the fuck you want. Like, I love that. So anyways, I'm on YouTube for probably like hours, and somehow the algorithm brought me to Asia Dang. Do y'all know Asia Dang?
No. Sounds like a porn star.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, well, she is like I know you're going through like a lesbian phase now, potentially.
Okay,
like,
wow. I just looked her up. Her profile picture is looking hella fine.
She's stunning. But she's a YouTuber, and she had like a bunch of YouTubes that were like, I don't know, fucking like skincare routines and like whatever. So I'm like watching her, and then all of a sudden I come across one of her videos, and it was like, I have $200,000 in student loan debt. And I was like, do I want to watch this video? And I did, and I just like lost my fucking mind. Like I lost my whole goddamn mind. I was like that video just like totally triggered me. Like I said, I went to law school. Law school is insanely expensive. Like I truly do not recommend it to anyone. Unless you are like, seriously, unless you are like 10,000% sure, like that's what you want to do. Like it's too expensive. And I did, like, I lost my mind. I was, like, so overwhelmed by, like, how much debt I had. My starting debt was $238,000 just for
my God.
And like I said, that wasn't a car. I had no credit card debt, and I don't have any student loan debt from undergrad. Like, law school's fucking expensive.
Holy shit.
And you finished, like, you graduated?
Yeah, I graduated, which people always like, oh, did you not finish? I'm like, no, I fucking finished. Like, I have a degree. But so I just like, I thought like it was just terrible. So I started Googling like crazy, as one does. I ended up on Reddit, which honestly, like, do not recommend. Like, people were so terrible and so mean.
Oh my God, Reddit, like, people are such asshats on there because they can really hide behind like, you can literally hide behind the internet for real on there. People are such dickheads.
Yeah, it was horrible. So I kept like, I don't know, just like poking around the internet, and like finally like found the debt-free community, and started to feel like some relief, and like I could do this. So my first month of like my debt-free journey, I wasn't on Instagram yet. I paid off like $22,000 in 1 month. Like I went fucking nuts.
What?
Damn.
That's amazing.
And I like when it was nuts. Like it was just out of control. Like I just was like, I need to like do something about this. So I didn't have an account for like 2 months, and then, which I think a lot of people do. Like I always see people like who come into the debt-free community and they're like, okay, I've been like a lurker for a while. So like that was me. So in July, I started Band a Budget. I told my boyfriend like a month before that, like exactly how much student loan debt I had, because I was just like, fuck it, like this is this number, like either you deal with it or you don't.
How long had you guys been together when you told him about your debt?
I think he knew that I had student loan debt, and I would like always joke and be like, I'm gonna pay this forever. I think I told him in May or June, and we had been together for like maybe a year and a half. Which I guess is a significant amount of time, but also maybe not that much. It was before we were living together, and I just was like, I need to like tell him this. And I like left work one day because I was like so anxious about it, and I like drove to his house, and I was like, I'm gonna tell you this, like I have this much student loan debt, this is how much I paid off, like this is my plan, like this is when I should be debt free, this is how much money I paid for a month, like what do you think?
What did he say?
Wow.
He was totally fine, like so supportive. I like cried. It was like very emotional, but he's great. He's been like super supportive of like just like this is something I want to do and like a goal I have, and it was fine. But like built up in my head, I was like, fuck, this could be really bad.
Now, does he have debt?
No, actually, I think he brought a truck a couple months ago, and I think he financed maybe like $5,000 or $10,000, but his interest rate is like so low, it's like $10 a month, but he'll be done with that like soon. But like compared to me, like he doesn't have any student loan debt, no credit card debt, nothing like that. So like very different in terms of like what we have going on debt wise.
Yeah. Also, he just obviously really likes you, because that's a shit ton of debt.
Yeah, for real. Because I feel like nowadays people don't, like when people get together and start dating, I don't think that debt is like a factor in someone's relationship until you get older and you're like more responsible and you figure out that money's a thing, and in a way, like it kind of does control your life, you know, depending on your situation. And like a lot of people don't understand you can marry into debt and it can be a bad time. Like you're not just marrying that person, like, yeah, you're going to get the crazy mother-in-law, but you're also going to take on a huge financial burden.
Yeah, I think that was like why I felt like I needed to tell him. And like I've done polls about this before, about like telling their partner, and I cannot believe how many people straight up were like, no, like I have a secret credit card and all this stuff.
Oh my god.
Damn, that's like cheating.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think like some of it was the fact that like, one, it's student loan debt, and he's like, you took this out to like, you know, better your life and your like career obligations. Two, I also like had a plan in place like for paying it off. Like I've been paying it off super aggressively. I also make more money than him, so.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, girl.
True. Girl, get it.
But I think,
mama.
I think that's important though, right? Like if you're gonna tell someone, like you better have a plan. And I think that's like part of the reason why he was like, okay, like you're gonna be done with this in a couple of years, and it's whatever, and I can still pay for, you know, everything I need and want to do. So
I am the exact opposite of you. I hid my debt from Rich just because I was like half ashamed and half nervous to tell him. And I mean, I didn't have a lot. I think my student loan debt was only like $6,000, which it's because I went to a technical college. I didn't go to law school. And then I had, you know, like credit card debt from when I was younger, and I was so nervous to tell him. I would only tell him like one debt at a time. And it really like snowballed, and eventually I just came out with it, and I was like, this is the debt I have. You know, I don't have a plan. You know, what can we do about it? And I mean, I knew then that he really cared about me, because he was like, okay, well, we're going to pay them off one by one. You know, I'm going to help you pay them. So I was the exact opposite end of the spectrum. I was super nervous, but I'm glad that I did it, because we went into our marriage debt free.
That's awesome.
You know? Yeah.
I think it's also just about like having the conversations, right? Like for me, I think like we have a stronger connection because like we do talk about money, and I think financial intimacy is like a real thing, right?
It is.
There's so many different ways to be intimate with someone, and I think like talking about money is super important.
Yeah, because for me, like I was #blessed. My grandma like paid for my school 100%. So like I never had the student loan debt, you know, like I'd like, thank God, that was the best thing that she's ever done. Like she did Florida prepaid for me, and then she helped pay for like my books and all the bullshit of getting through nursing school. So I never had to like deal with that aspect. But Gordon and I have been together for like almost 10 years or whatever. And we've been married for like, I don't know, our anniversary's coming up for like 4 or 5, not sure. Sorry, Gordon. But we just recently this year joined bank accounts. And because I was separate, I was like at Bank of America and he was at Chase, and everything was always separate. And like I would just like pay him monthly for like half the bills. He would just give me a number and I'd pay him. And it worked out. But at the same time, when you try to save money separately, it was not working out, because it's like I would get Starbucks and I'd be like, okay, well, I got Starbucks, and he would like go to Taco Bell or something, and you don't really know where your money is going. So like we made that decision this year to actually like join financially, and it's been like a game changer, because you're right, it is more intimate, because it's not just like your money or his money, it's officially like our money. And like I only have one account separate, which is just like my bank account through Bank of America, which is just there just in case. But like other than that, it's only $1,000. It's not like I'm keeping, you know, a shit ton of money separate or anything like that. But yeah, like financial intimacy is for sure a thing.
I think it is. I think it's made Rich and I's relationship 100% stronger. I mean, we don't fight. We used to fight about money. That was of course, everybody, that's the one thing you fight about. And it was a constant like bickering, and now we don't do that. We're in the same situation. We have a joint bank account. I do have my own, but I mean, it's not anything crazy. It's just, you know, for like this podcast or whatever, but it's made us so much stronger. So I completely agree.
So with like everybody knows about Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
And I guess for me at least, when I started looking at finances and all that shit, it's like he's the one that always pops up.
Yeah.
And it's like always all of his shit, and you can spend money, which I think is ironic, to learn how to save money.
He had a Black Friday sale, and I was like, why though?
What?
Yeah, I always thought that was
He had
weird.
a Black Friday sale, and I was like, get out of here.
Yeah, because like a lot of people that when you do start researching, they follow his rules, and I mean, you don't even have to pay for it because basically everyone tells you what to do. It's you follow these steps, and then you save money or whatever. But what do you think about him and his rules or his guidelines?
Yeah, so I actually did a post like this like way earlier, like towards when I started my account. And like at the time, it was like I think it was like the Dave Ramsey rules I don't follow. And I thought people were gonna like lose their minds because people like literally worship the ground that Dave Ramsey walks on.
Yeah.
So people like reacted like it was like one of my most popular posts I've ever had. And essentially like I guess the way I think about it is like I guess it's not like that much different than like being Catholic and like believing in like the message of Catholicism, but like not living by the Bible, right?
Oh,
like,
so like me. Okay, yeah, check.
I'm here.
Got
like,
it.
I'm here for like Dave Ramsey's message. Like I totally agree. Like you should get out of debt. Like debt will keep you from building wealth. Like I'm totally here for that. But like I don't agree with like really like any of his methods. First and foremost, like the biggest thing, and I talk about this on my page a lot, is like I don't use the snowball method. Like I'm not about it. It's like mathematically like not as sound. Like I don't agree with it. I also think it's like very weird. I shouldn't say I don't agree with it. That sounds too stern, but like
what is his snowball method for people that don't know?
So there's like two primary like debt payoff methods, right? So the one that Dave Ramsey suggests is the snowball method, where you essentially line up all of your debts in order from like smallest balance to highest balance, and you pay them off that way. The avalanche method is the same like principle, but you start with the highest interest rate and work your way from like to the lowest interest rate. So like the thing that's so crazy is like I'm using the avalanche method, and if I make the same payment, like I make the same payment every month for like my allotted amount of time, I will pay $4,000 less and become debt free 2 months sooner.
Wow.
Using the same amount of money. So like yeah, it's crazy. And like that's something I like tell people. Like I don't really care what people do, whatever works for them. But the thing that I think is so crazy is people just like take this. They're like, oh, that's the method. And it's like, no, run your own numbers. Like
yeah, because
see if there's a difference. And like for me, I did, and I was like, well, shit, I'm not doing that.
Because like from my understanding is like the reason why Dave Ramsey said not to do it that way, to pay off, it wasn't like the lowest one first or something. It's like, oh, so you get in that mindset of you can do it and it keeps you motivated. Well, for me, the money is the motive. And if I'm running the numbers and the avalanche method works better, why would he not even have that as an option? You know what I mean?
Well, it's so crazy too, because like he'll have people on the podcast. Like he had this guy who had, and this like gives me a heart attack to even talk about. He has $1 million, like close to $1 million in student loan debt, and he was like talking. Yeah, he was talking about like the interest. Like at that point, you're accumulating like probably like $5,000 worth of interest a month.
Yeah, you're fucked.
And he was like, no, like just no. And I was like, no, like don't just tell him no. Like maybe he should look into that. Like at that point, like the interest does really matter. But I think the thing that's so funny to me is like Dave Ramsey is such a hard ass. He's like, paying off your debt is about changing your habits and doing the hard thing, and like it's not about feeling good and like all these things. But then like the method that he pushes is like the feel good method, and I'm just like, yeah, if it's about like truly changing, shouldn't you do the thing that's like gonna get you there faster? And I don't want to shit on anyone. It works for plenty of people, but like I'm not here for it. Also, like stop telling people not to contribute to their retirement. Like I think that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I'm not here for that at all. Like, especially people that are paying off like the kind of student loan debt I am and the kind of debt I am. Like, I'm not gonna not contribute for 4 or 5 years. Like, that's just insane to me.
Honestly, yeah, I think that's one of my biggest mistakes too, is when I started my job, my first grown-up job, you sign up for your benefits or whatever, and then you pay into this retirement through your company, and like my company matches, whatever. Well, I've been working there now, this will be going on 3 years, and literally 2 months ago, I finally like looked into like my retirement and how much was actually going towards it, and it was a joke. So, because Gordon, he's always like, you need to contribute because like the more you put into it, it'll build on itself. If you can donate, he's like basically. So what I did is I'm donating the max amount, the 19,000 every year for at least 5 years, and then I can like back off a little bit because then he's like by then it'll just start building on itself because money makes money. Yeah. So basically that's what we're doing.
Like I just don't. He tells people call into his show and are like, "Well, what if I get a match?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Dude, that's free money."
God, yeah, because that was my thing. Yeah, because that was my thing. I was like, I'm so stupid, but like now I'm aggressively putting money into it. Like it takes. I basically put it up to 25%. So it's going to take 25% of my paycheck, and I have the option of working extra days and making like time and a half, like real good money, but my paychecks are shit. Like what I'm actually taking home, like I pulled up my paychecks, like it's a fucking joke.
It's like $1,500 to max out your 401k. So
yeah, like I had like $1,600 go towards my retirement, and then I only made like $600 on top of like all the other shit that comes out of my paycheck. But it's like still my money. Yeah. But like I need to have a retirement. Like I don't want to work forever.
Same.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I do not have a 401k. Rich does. He has a really great one. He maxes his out, and we're working on trying to get open a Roth IRA.
Yeah, I have a Roth IRA through Vanguard.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I'm on the opposite spectrum. We live off of what I make, and then basically everything that he makes goes into savings accounts or, IRA accounts. So.
Okay, so like one income for the present, one income for the future.
Right, exactly. Because he is maxing it out, and we basically have a savings rate of like 40%. We would be able to potentially quote unquote retire early, which means he could step down from this position where he is banking this money to do something that he, actually enjoys, or he can do part-time.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. So what is your advice, I guess? Because so we don't have any car payments. We have a kid, so that's a fucking money sucker right there. But technically, I guess it's not really a debt because she hasn't done anything yet. But so our biggest payment right now is our house. Mm-hmm. And we refinanced in order to get our payment down to 10 years. So basically, technically, if we just follow the regular payments, it'd be 10 years we paid off. Well, we're trying to do double payments every month to get it paid off in 5 years. Is that is this how this works? Like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Are we doing the right thing? Help.
I mean, I don't have a mortgage, so I'm not an expert, but I do know like a lot of people like to make like bi-monthly payments, right? Where you essentially split it in half, which makes it so you pay like extra payments every year. I mean, I think my biggest thing I tell anyone is like figuring out like how much interest it's accruing on whatever schedule it's accruing, right? Is it daily? Is it monthly, yearly? And then making sure that like you're paying enough money that your payments are touching the principal, and then reducing the amount of interest that's accruing. I mean, that's like the simple math of it.
Right. And so with your whole plan, how does that work? So do you take your income and you have like a spreadsheet that you follow every month in order to pay off your debt? Are you like taking every cent that you have extra to go towards that, or what's your planning like?
So one of the questions I get like all the time is like, how the fuck are you paying so much money like for your student loans? Like, full disclosure, like I do have a really great job. That obviously helps, right? Like you can only cut down your expenses like so much, but like income can be infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I think like the one thing that's really, really helped me is like I have like minimal expenses, right? Like I live in an apartment that's 12% of my take home pay.
Wow.
The suggested amount I think is like about 25 or 30% of your gross pay, and I'm paying 12% of my net. So that really helps. Like I've basically just been like living like a college student, even though I'm 32 years old. I don't have like I don't have I don't have a car payment. I stopped driving to work. I take the bus because my employer will pay for that. I only fill up on gas once a month, and when I'm out of gas, like I have to either take the bus or walk or ride my bike. I also got rid of my personal cell phone. I use my work cell phone. It's weird, but like I'm like whatever. Like anything you can cut, you can cut. Like I don't have Hulu or Netflix. I don't have Amazon Prime. Like I just cut the shit out of my expenses.
Wow.
So that's like the first thing I do. But then I also like live on like a pretty strict budget. So I'm someone who like loves Excel. For me, that really works. I think like at least for me, like a lot of like the automated budgeting apps, I'm the kind of person that'll like see it, but like maybe not like realize what's like what's happening versus like if it's in an Excel sheet and I have to go and input it in, for me I'm like, oh fuck, like I really did spend like $30 on coffee.
Yeah, because you're more like aware of like what you're spending.
Yeah, so I balance my budget every single week, which is intense and is like laborsome and is a lot, but like I don't go out of my budget. Like whatever that money is, that's my money. I also have like I give myself spending money. I told someone the other day that it was like $400 a month, and someone like lost their mind. They're like, what the fuck? So, like I get like $50 a month, and I was like, well, this is what works for me. But I have a separate debit card for my spending money. So like when there's no money in there, like there's no money left. And yeah, I mean, I basically like any extra income I make goes like straight to my debt, and I make a million payments like on whatever loan I'm targeting so that like interest isn't accruing. And that's something I also tell people too. Like if you just made a payment and only $3 have accrued and you have $5, like make a goddamn payment. You're going to reduce your principal by $2, right? And like
That's
I think
so true,
that helps so much is like making those consistent like little payments, because like the more you can cut your principal, like you're just making it so you're paying less and less interest. So yeah, that's kind of what I do in a nutshell. It's just like living way, way, way below your means. Like get yourself on a budget, and like honestly, no payment is too small. If I like pulled up my Nelnet account, like it's I'll pay $8 if I have $8. Like it doesn't matter. Like I just make those payments when I have extra money.
That's honestly so good to hear, because I feel like a lot of people, they're like, well, if it's not a good payment, I'm just gonna wait, or they'll save the payment or whatever and then be like, oh, I have extra money, and then spend it on something else because it's sitting there.
And do that basic minimum payment.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, I only want to do $100. Oh, I only have 50, so I'll just wait till next month, and then it falls to the wayside, you know?
I honestly, yeah. I think one of the things that helped me a lot too is I basically made like a daily interest like tracker, and it'll show me how much each loan accrues daily every single day. So like I know exactly what those numbers are, and that like helps a lot too.
Now, do you have like through your Instagram and whatnot, do you have free resources for people, like trackers that you've made that they can download? Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, I actually have the daily interest tracker. I did take it down for a while. I'll probably put it back up soon, mostly because there was a little bit of an issue with one of the formulas, but I haven't put out a ton of free resources. I'm mostly like that person that answers like every single DM that gets sent to me.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had said in our emails that we were sitting back and forth, you don't really agree with Dave Ramsey's $1,000 like emergency fund. So what do you recommend having as your emergency fund? Like how do you do that?
Yeah, so personally, I am someone that, again, for anyone that doesn't know Dave Ramsey, plenty of people do. So he has baby steps 1 through 7, and baby step 3 is getting together an emergency fund or essentially a 3 to 6 month living expense fund. For me personally, like that's where I started. Like I had like a big emergency fund to start off, and it makes it like so much easier because I'm like, okay, I can like literally throw like all of my income at this, and I know that like if something really bad happens, I have this. And for example, I had my car engine flooded in October.
Oh God.
My deductible was $500. But I also had to pay for these other things, right? Like I think it ended up costing me like $1,200 when all was said and done. And like I have car insurance and a low deductible, and it cost me that much, right?
Wow.
Like, so I personally like don't think $1,000 is that much money because it's not. But I also think again, like, and goes back to like my biggest problem with like Dave Ramsey is like, run your own numbers, right? Like, what is your deductible for your health insurance? What is your deductible for your car insurance? Like, what is your mortgage? Are you paying for your kids to go to like private school? Like, what are your actual like real expenses? And like, what does that number look like to you? Because like $1,000 might be fine if you're like a college student and on your parents' like health insurance plan. But if you're a family of 5, like it's probably not. And I think for me, that's like the biggest thing is like people just hear this number and they're like, oh, this is what I need to do. And it's like, well, like do your own math.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because for me, I'm the type of person, basically a Virgo, where I really love people like saying, okay, A plus B equals C.
Sure.
And so this is what you need to do for your budget. Because like I literally just went on Excel and I found a monthly budget thingy, but like I have to fill in all the thingies. Like, and I'm like, well, I want you to do it for me, like catered to me, you know? And I think that's where, at least for me, I'm like, I'm already fucking overwhelmed. But, you know, it's not practical. Like you have to do it for you to figure it out because it's not everybody is the same. Not everybody's situation is the same.
No. So how much do you, if you want to talk about it, how much do you contribute to your 401k? Do you have any other savings accounts? Like earlier we talked about, you know, the Roth IRA, you know, there's a ton of there's like the health savings account. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm probably going to sound crazy because I have like a ton of accounts, but yes, I still contribute to my 401k. For me to get the full match, I need to contribute 7%. So I contribute 7% out of every one of my paychecks. Prior to that, I was contributing, I think 11 or 12%, but I did roll it to get the match. So I do have a 401k. I was contributing it to it, not like crazy aggressively, but close to maxing it out before. And now I've rolled that back. I know a lot of people like are like anti-investing. I do have a Wealthfront brokerage account that I do invest $100 a month. Not a ton of money, but like it's still something. And $100 to me is like something that I'm fine to part with.
Yeah.
I also have a Vanguard Roth IRA. So I actually don't contribute to that throughout the year. I actually every January just take $6,000 out of my savings and max that out like immediately.
Oh, okay.
And then I also have a Charles Schwab account. I work for a publicly traded company, so as part of my compensation, I do get equity. So I have all of my restricted stock options vested in there. I have a high yield savings account, and then I also have 2 checking accounts. One is like my normal like operating account, and then I have my like fun money separate checking. So I have a million accounts.
But I mean that's so great because you're just setting yourself up for success by doing that. You know, I mean, I feel like there's not too many accounts to have when it comes to saving money or, you know, earning free money, basically. Excuse me.
Yeah, and I think for some people it might not work having their money spread out, but for me, it's worked. And like I said, I know we talked about it before, but like I'm 100% going to keep contributing to my Roth IRA, keep contributing to my 401k even while I'm in debt because and investing. I agree with a lot of people who say like you shouldn't be investing when you're in debt. But $100 a month is something that I feel like I can easily work into my budget, and I'm happy to do it.
Well, I think that's awesome. Ariana, do you have any more questions? Any other questions?
I guess only because we're around the holiday season. How does that work for you with gift giving and
Oh
all that
yeah.
stuff? Are you just kind of the type of person that's like, I love you, but also I have $1 million in debt. I'm not
Yeah.
going to buy you a pointless gift. Like, how does that work? Because honestly, I feel so pressured to buy literally everyone everything during the holidays, and
So
especially it's like awkward too because I feel like we're always like, okay, we're paying off our house, don't get us anything, and then they're like, oh, here's a gift, and I'm like, well, now I feel like I have to buy you something.
It is
yeah.
horrible.
I would say so for me, and this is like good, I think, like financial advice, but like also good life advice. Like get like comfortable saying no. Like I am someone, anyone that knows me in real life, like I will say no to anything. If it's something I don't want to do or I want to leave or I don't want to spend my money on it, like it's no. And for me, like that's how I feel. Like I'm prioritizing myself above everything else because like at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to pay this debt. So like that's just how it is. It does make it a little bit easier. So this is like a weird fun fact. So I was actually raised agnostic, which is like very strange. But my family was like never that into Christmas. And by the time we got to be like probably like I was like 15, my parents were like, we're not doing this anymore. Like we're not getting all these gifts. Like this isn't what like holidays are like supposed to be about. Like they're really
Right.
supposed to be about like being with each other and like not about like all the shit we're gonna buy you. So I would say from like probably 15 on, like my family stopped exchanging gifts. We usually do like a Yankee swap or something like that,
Right.
which is more just like you know fun, but it's usually like 20 or $30, something cheap. So that's definitely made it way easier. But I mean, if people want to give me gifts, they can. But like I'm not. And I'm fine with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I personally don't need anything. Like, I can take care of myself just fine. I make that message really clear to everyone in my life. And my boyfriend will probably still get me a gift because he's like the nicest person in the world. But
Oh.
I'm a
Aw.
gift, so he
We'll
can
just wait
just
till you
have
get married.
that.
Yeah, after you get married, it's like bought trash bags today, and then
I
that's your
literally
gift.
I literally sent Rich the exact link of the thing that I wanted. And we usually don't get each other presents, but we do a drawing every year with his family, and he drew me.
Perfect.
So, but yeah, it's hard at Christmas time to like prioritize, and we still are learning about that. We're still trying to do the best that we can with that. So, on his side of the family, we draw names, which makes it really great because you're just buying for one person.
I think that's
And it is so great because you're still doing the Christmas thing, but you're setting a budget and it's only for one person, not for 10. And
Yeah.
then on my side of the family, we just don't do that. My mom goes buck wild at Christmas and she gets me and my brother a ton of stuff. And I mean, it's usually stuff that we need, like clothes and shoes. But Rich and I don't want to say we don't want to do it. We just can't do that. If we're going to keep continuing on this path to save and, retire early and just put away as much as we can't be spending $200, $300 per person at Christmas. So this year is the first year we like set a budget for ourselves, and for each member of my family, which is basically just my mom, my dad, my brother, and his girlfriend, we set $100 limit, which is still pretty high, and we didn't even hit that limit. We stayed under, but we're just gonna have to start doing that. You just have to kind of do what's best for you.
I mean, I think that makes so much sense because I don't know, it's just like this weird thing. It's like all year round, like no one really gives a not like no one really gives a fuck, but okay, it's your birthday, like let's go out, I'll buy you a drink or whatever. But all of a sudden it's Christmas and everyone's going like fucking nuts. Like, and I'm like guilty of it too. It's like Black Friday. I'm like on Amazon fucking trying to find a deal at this point just because it's Black Friday. And it's like it's stupid. I was like talking to myself like, what are you doing? Like, first of all, you don't need anything. This is ridiculous. And second of all, it's just like a fucking thirst trap. Like I'm looking at Roombas and I'm like, I literally don't need a Roomba. Like, what is my problem? But the deals, the deals. It's like that South Park episode, like Stan's dad, the deals
Oh
Stan.
my
I'm like, fuck, the deals.
They'll get you the deals.
Like, people don't realize, like, for me too. So it's funny you bring up the $100 thing. So when I was growing up too, like, my parents used to give us like a $100 limit, like, as kids, and they'd be like, "We'll buy you $100 worth of stuff, or you can pick out $100 worth of things that you like." And I'm a control freak, so I always picked out exactly what I wanted. But I think, like, even like early on, like, I kind of got like, okay, like, I have $100 to budget on myself. Like, what do I really want? And I remember, like, growing up and thinking that was crazy, but, like, my parents paid off their mortgage, like, early. My parents paid for all of their cars in cash. My parents also paid for me to go to undergrad in cash, which, like,
Wow.
shout out to my parents for paying for my undergrad. And then on top of it, like, my parents are getting ready to retire soon, and, like, honestly, the best gift I think you can, like, give your kids is, like, I'm not worried about them at all, right? Like, I know they have plenty of money to retire, and, like, they'll be fine. So it's like, I would rather have, like, no gifts, or, like just a couple of gifts, and, like, have these other things, like being able to be 32 and have the peace of mind that my parents actually have enough money to retire. And I think that's, like, something to think about.
Yeah, because can I go off really quick? Because I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, our parents took such good care of us, and I've found that, and not just like my personal family relationships, but also really close friends, like, parents at like a certain age, just literally, I found, stopped learning and growing as parents, and they've just reverted into this person that just forgot how to take care of themselves. Because what the fuck? Like, I cannot, like, they just forgot how to take care of themselves, and all of a sudden I'm like 28, 29, and I'm like, what do you mean you need help? What do you mean you don't have a retirement? You're, like, about to retire, but you can't honey, how did you raise children? Like, how are we here right now? Like, I don't understand.
You don't want to do that to your kids. Like, I talk to my coworkers who I'm like, you guys make plenty of money. Like, what are you doing? Like, to, like, get on that retirement wagon. Like,
exactly. It's like all of a sudden adults just forgot how to be adults, and they just started fucking up real hard. And I'm like, if I am doing something different than you, there's something wrong here, because I'm new here. Like, I just became an adult like 5 minutes ago. You've been an adult for longer.
And we're not, so it's fine.
I feel like a lot.
Yeah, right. It's fine. I'm paying into that, but I don't get any. It's fine.
I feel like a lot of like me, I did not grow up learning about money, and I feel like that's how a lot of people in our generation are. Their parents, like, did not necessarily teach them about money. You didn't really learn about money in school. I mean, I didn't have financial classes. Did you guys?
No, but I had like I think I got it, like, all from my mom.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, like, in the form of, like, financial knowledge as much as it is. So my mom grew up in Scotland, and, like, she's gonna listen to this, so sorry, Mom, but she, like, didn't, like, have anything, and, like, she watched my grandmother, like, rely on men for money, and really made, like, a lot of choices, like, around relationships because of money. My mom didn't go to college, like, or anything like that. So, like, really pushed into me, like, you have to get an education, like, you have to save money, like, save. So I feel like that was, like, beaten into me, like, from, like, childhood, which I thought was annoying then, but, like, is nice now. But in terms of, like, actual, like, financial literacy, like, no, they don't teach anyone that.
Honestly, that's, like, my same situation, but it's like my Mimi, like, she grew up in Germany, married my grandpa. He was from America, and he was in the Air Force. And basically, my grandma grew up on a fucking farm, you know, like, and so, like, basically when he started moving up through the Air Force, they still lived off of that same, like, starter paycheck. So he ended up becoming, like, top notch, but basically they still lived way below their means. They never bought anything fancy or crazy, and they had all this money saved. So, like, that's like where my idea of savings and money always came from, was from her, like, always being in my life. And, you know, you don't have to have the biggest, baddest thing, because that's another problem, is, like, I think with social media and everybody always showing off what they have, it's, like, also really tempting to, like, try to be on, like, the latest trends.
Do you remember, it's funny that you, like, mentioned that, though. Like, I remember, like, growing up, so I grew up in Connecticut, and my parents, like, looking back, like, did fine. Like, my dad's an aerospace engineer, right? Like, he's not,
Jesus.
like, my parents did fine. But where I, like, grew up, and now I realize all these people were probably in debt, but, like, I thought we were fucking poor. Like, I was like, we have no money. Because, like, everyone does, right? Like, they're always getting new cars. Like, my mom, like, would drive, like, this red, like, Dodge Caravan and drove it for, like, ever. And I was like, I'm poor. And, like, you don't realize. Like, you don't realize. And then you grow up and you're like, oh, all those people just, like, were probably using credit cards, especially too when you, like, think about, like, what your friends' parents did. I'm like,
yeah,
could you really afford a Lexus? Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
You just, like, have no idea. And, like, that was, like, growing up, I was like, oh my god, my family, I have no money.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think that, so, like, my grandparents, like, my dad's side, they always talked about, like, saving your money, you know, you always want to save, blah, 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 whatever. But I think the one negative aspect for my childhood when it came to money is my mom, like, my mom worked a corporate job. My dad was always, like, craftsman. Like, he had his own lawn company. He built pools and all that kind of stuff, whatever. But everything always came down to, like, oh, we don't have enough money, and, like, oh, we don't have enough money, like, stuff like that, where it's like a negative, like, light almost, where it was always like I felt like my mom was too vocal about the financial situation, where I was kind of in the same boat where I'm like, oh, we're definitely poor. Yeah. Because my mom would say stuff like, oh, we're too poor to afford that. And it's like, wait, are we though? Because I don't understand, you know? Like, it was just like a negative, I think. Instead of explaining how money and finances worked, it was always just one of those things where it's like, oh, we can't afford that. Oh, we can't afford that. But come to find out, like, we were fucking fine. Like, the lights were still on. We lived in a middle class, you know what I mean? Like, but I think that gave me, like, anxiety as a kid, especially as, like, a Virgo child. Like, I was just like, what do you mean we're poor? Hold on a second. What does that mean?
What is your sign, Kendall?
I was hoping you would ask me that. I'm a Cancer, and I'm an Enneagram 4, which basically means, like, I love crying.
Oh my
You're
god,
super emotional.
Like, my tagline should be, like, crying in a car near you.
Oh my god, I love it. Yes.
Let me tell you, I've never met a Cancer before, and the only Cancer I know of is Lana Del Rey, and she is, like, the Cancer.
Oh my god, she is the Cancer queen.
I love Lana, so, like, I'm very into that. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is about being a Cancer, though, is, like, if you look at any other, like, sign, there's, like, always something positive. It'll be, like, hard-headed, but, like, really ambitious, or, like, has strong boundaries, but, like, has a good sense of who they are. And then it's, like, Cancer, it's, like, you're really annoying, and you cry way too much, and nobody likes you.
Okay, that's totally not true, because I just looked up Cancer and Virgo, and it said that we have an everlasting love. So
you are really pushing this.
Wow, I love it.
I blame TikTok. All right.
I love it.
Okay, I'm a Capricorn, so I have control issues, and I don't like people, which is just really great. I feel like I'm the exact opposite. Not the exact opposite, but, like, Ariana, you said that with the spreadsheet thing, you want someone to do it for you, and I'm like, no, I want to see that spreadsheet, and I'm gonna fill that bitch in.
I'm checking your math.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Caroline's in control of this podcast, and I just show up. I'm like, hello, I'm here, and I think that makes Caroline super happy.
It does. Like, I want you to have control because I want you to feel like you're a part of this, but also I really like that I can send you updates in Google Calendar.
Yeah, like, I'll accept all of them.
You're like, I do not want to do a group project with her.
No, I was definitely always in charge, and we always got A's, so.
That's all that matters.
You're welcome. I want to do a group project with Caroline. You don't have to do anything.
Everybody in 4th grade is welcome.
And all through college.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're about to hit an hour, but I really want to talk about the Denver airport because Ariana does not know about it.
I have no idea.
So, Kendall, tell me what you know about it, and then we can kind of chat about it for a little bit.
Okay, so first and foremost, you've never been there, right, Caroline?
No, I've never been there. Have you, Ariana?
When I was like 4, so technically no.
Okay, so I've only been there once or twice. But like first and foremost, I just want to like put it out there. It's like one of the worst airports I've ever been to like in my life. Like there's absolutely no signage. Me and my girlfriend went on like a ski trip with a bunch of people last year, and like it took us like 2 hours to find like where to get our
God.
Like, no baggage, like 10 out of 10, don't recommend.
Wow.
Damn.
But aside from like being like a shitty airport, it's just fucking weird. So they have, do you know about like Caroline, do you know about like their weird like mascot outside of the airport? It's called Blucifer.
Is it a horse?
It's this weird demonic horse. It has like glowing red eyes and like.
Hold on. Is it really called Blucifer or is that the nickname?
No, I think they called it that because I guess when the statue was being made, it fell on the guy and killed him.
What?
Like, we'll just put it up. Or like that's the story. Like it fell on the guy, killed him, and they're like, still a good statue. We
Oh my God, yeah,
a shitload of commissions. So like
someone died. Oh my God, sorry, it's not funny.
But also like inside the airport, and you can look this up. They have like all of these like really fucking weird paintings. They're like very apocalyptic, like very demonic, and it's like, why did you choose this?
Okay, first of all, if I'm going to an airport, I'm already afraid I'm gonna explode in an airplane. Why would I want to look at the end of the world? Who designed this?
And a demonic force that killed someone.
Like what? So
I'm looking at it right now. Hold on.
the horse is extremely scary, and it's not like, made out of marble, and it has, you can see its ribs for some reason. Is it a hungry horse? And its hair is sticking up, and it has red eyes, and it's very weird.
Okay, so real quick, let's talk about this painting with like the children and then the Nazi guy with the machine gun and the gas mask and the knife, and he's about to like cut a dove and there's a dead baby. What is happening?
And it looks like something's in an ice cube. Yeah, exactly. Like it's just bizarre.
What?
Okay,
because I've been. Where have I been? I've been to the airport in Atlanta, and like they have some weird art shit like in the ceiling and stuff, but like nothing like this. Oh my God, I see the art piece you're talking about, the dead baby and the. What is happening?
And they have Masonic. Is it Masonic?
Oh, the Freemasons. Like, symbols, like all over a bunch of shit too. So that's really weird. But okay, so the weird thing about it is that like to make and like construct the Denver airport, like they took like like 10 times the amount of time that they were supposed to spend, and they went like $2 billion over budget, and people were like,
what?
And they have like people that worked on like the construction who were like, yeah, there's this whole like underground like system. So there's this thing where they think like it's like a bunker and there's like a couple different like varying like conspiracies, but essentially they think it's like a bunker for like, I don't know, the Illuminati or like the elite in like an apocalyptic situation.
That's what I heard. For
if
the
you
elite,
think about it, it's like kind of in a central location in the middle of the United States, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. And also, I was telling Caroline this before, when you go, it's fucking huge. Like, it's absolutely massive, and it's like...
It says it's the size of Manhattan.
It's suspiciously large. Like, why?
Yeah, like, why is it the size of Manhattan? Like, that makes no sense to me.
Especially in Denver. Like, I'm not shitting on Denver, but, like...
Yeah, that's fucking weird. Because, like, the only reason... I could think of like underground tunnels is like I immediately just think of Disney. Like Magic Kingdom has underground tunnels to allegedly, so you can't see the cast members like changing shift or whatever. But who the fuck cares if you're at the airport? You're not at Disney. You're at a fucking airport. Like, why do you need that?
It's just bizarre. But you go and it's like, I don't know what's taking up all this space, but it's massive.
That is so weird.
It is. I want to know more about the underground tunnels. Like, of course, I feel like nobody knows about that since it's super, super secret. But what I have always heard and what I pretty much believe is it's definitely some sort of bunker for the elite, like you said, in case of an apocalypse. I mean, I don't know what else it could be unless there's like secret government offices down there, which might make sense because it's a hub. But I don't know. It's wild.
I mean, that kind of makes sense too because I don't know. I just think of like Denver being like a central location in the United States, so it's easy for everyone to just like meet up in the middle, you know? But then why would an airport have tunnels?
I don't know. I don't know. I've always been so in awe of this, and there's no answers. I mean, do you know anything else about it, Kendall?
I don't know a ton more about it. The other thing I think is like weird though is like the Denver airport like totally just like trolls people about it. Like if you no, I'm not kidding. Like if you go onto their website, they're like, you may have heard some secrets about us, and it's like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
What? No fucking way.
That's weird. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of weird.
I feel like that's so fucking weird because like I just would never think of an airport, but I mean maybe that's why they did it. They're like, okay, sorry to bring up TikTok. I'm so sorry. But there was a TikTok video that said maybe the reason why we can't get to Area 51 is because we're in Area 51, and if we get there, that's how we get out. And I was like,
what?
Wow, that fucked with my brain. But maybe that's like the Denver airport. Like, why would that be? Oh my god.
Oh my god, you guys. Oh my god. That's how we escape the dome. Is
Area 51. But we have to fly there from the Denver airport, apparently.
Wow.
I just like an invite. Like, how do I get an invite? Kellen, I mean, you have 10,000 followers on TikTok, so like maybe you're in. Oh, like you're in this bunker.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, 10,000 followers, that's a big deal. On TikTok. But on Instagram, I can only get 1,000. No big deal. I don't know. I want to know more, and I want to like. So obviously, people had to build this underground portion. So obviously, there's construction workers who know what it looks like and kind of what it took to build. Why have we not heard from them? Did they have to sign like a hush thing where they couldn't talk about it?
Okay, well maybe the guy that got killed by the horse was going to say some shit, and they said, "Whoops, this accidentally fell on you."
I didn't even think about that potentially being a conspiracy.
Right? Wow.
I mean, was he like the original Epstein?
Just like Hillary Clinton was involved. I know it.
You went there, and I love it. And
she pushed the horse.
Oh my god! Also, like, what an amazing thing! They're like, yeah, this like giant ass statue just fell on him, and he died.
Oops.
So, and then people are like, sounds believable. Moving on.
Anyways, let's just wipe the blood off the horse's tail. Still monument this thing. I don't know.
How did only one guy die? I feel like that's a big statue.
It's a very creepy statue. Did you look at multiple pictures of it? Because it's like
super veiny.
Yeah, and it's like malnourished, but its front legs are really long.
Yeah, is it like a dead horse? Is it like a back from the dead horse? Like a ghost horse?
Like what was the inspiration for this?
What was the inspiration for all of this?
Because I know art is weird. Like the other day at work, someone taped a banana to the wall and then they put like this fake plaque, and I was like, why are we doing this? And then someone said that literally in Miami, someone had an art piece. It was a banana. They taped it to the wall with masking tape, and it sold for like an exorbitant amount of money. Yeah. And then the guy gave the guy that bought it 9 more bananas. So when that one rots, he just tapes a new banana. And I was like, this is fucking stupid. But then Gordon's like, well, that's because the drug cartels use art to launder money. And I was like, oh, fucking duh. So art to me is weird. I don't fucking get it. But like maybe this horse thing is a banana taped to the wall.
I don't know.
Okay, well, it was happening in 1993, so like the Clintons were in office.
Oh my god!
I don't know how I know that, and this is like I'm traumatized by this now. But so I was in kindergarten in 1992, when there was a presidential election and we had to do like a mock election at our school, and I voted for Bill Clinton because I thought he was the cutest. And that's
hell yeah.
Like when the election was, because I'm like 1992 kindergarten and then just worked backwards from there.
Bill Clinton was definitely hot.
Are we starting a new conspiracy right now? Like the piece was commissioned in 1993 and it killed. I don't know.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying.
Okay, listen, that kind of makes sense because, okay, they're definitely in on this shit, and yeah, I'm sold 110%. They were in on this.
We're gonna research this some more, and we're gonna have an update on the next episode.
Yeah, because I'm like,
I mean, there's probably a Reddit thread about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kendall,
$300,000 for it. So like, I get why they were like, he did die, but like, we need to put this up.
They paid $100,000 for Blue.
No, $300,000 with $165 up front.
Oh fuck.
No, thank you.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. Kendall, did you say that you had some personal creepy stories? We're going like way over on time, but I wanna know if you have any creepy stories.
So I have 2 creepy stories. So one of them is like probably like a ghosty story, and then one of them is like this weird thing that happened to me on the Appalachian Trail that like doesn't have much resolve, but like it does creep me out.
Hiking creeps me out. Anyway, I can't wait to hear it.
Okay, so if I haven't like already come off as like so weird and eccentric, when I graduated from college, I actually camped in Maine for like 6 months.
Okay, that's a really long time. I thought you were going to say like 6 days, but okay.
No, like
also, I feel like that's such a Cancer thing to do because you're probably like, I want to be in my thoughts.
Yeah, I want to be in my feelings.
I want to be in my feelings.
I wonder if Drake's a Cancer. He probably is, that little bitch. But anyways, so I worked for the Maine Conservation Corps for 6 months, and it was awesome. I camped in Maine for 6 months. We basically did like trail work and kind of stuff, but one of the locations we camped at was like really like backwoods camping. Like, so essentially like there was a trailhead and it took like probably about 4 hours to like hike up to the top.
Oh my God.
Yeah, thank you.
So, like, this is deep woods camping. Like, you do not want to get hurt like in this location, right? Because like you're kind of like SOL.
Did you have any like previous experience? Obviously, I'm sure you did.
Honestly, like not a lot. I just
okay.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
But anyways, so we're camping, and like honestly, when you're camping and it's like deep woods camping like that, by like 9 o'clock, it's like, okay, there's literally nothing else to do. Let's just go to bed because it's unbelievably dark like you've never seen.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like dark because like the trees and like there's not shit out there.
There's nothing, right? No car lights, no nothing. So we go to bed. It's probably like 9 o'clock, and the way that our campsite is arranged is essentially like almost like a circle, and my tent is like in the very, very back end of that circle, but you have to enter from like the opposing side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 9 o'clock, we get in our little tent, I'm like laying down or whatever, and I don't know, I'm like half asleep when I like start hearing like noises, and I'm thinking it's like one of my like team members like just like getting up to go to the bathroom or something like that. But it's like, I don't know, it's
never a team member.
It's never a team member.
No.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? So I'm like getting kind of pissed, right? Because I'm trying to fall asleep. And I open up my tent, and I kid you not, like 2 feet away from my tent, there is a man that I've never seen in my life.
Stop!
With no flashlight. And
Bruh.
I just like, my like immediate instinct is to be as loud as possible. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like just being so loud, right? Because I'm trying to wake everyone else up. And he literally looks at me dead in the face. And I go, you scare the shit out of me. And he goes, I bet. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then like all my teammates like woke up or whatever. And we were just like, I don't know, he was trying to talk to us. And this was like, I was like, why did you start? He's like, I don't have a place to like stay. Can I stay with you guys? And we're like,
no.
For the state of Maine, like you can't stay in this area. Like you have to be like a state employee to camp here or whatever.
And
but
didn't
also
you
I was
say
like,
that was so far away from civilization?
Yeah. So that's the weird part. I was like, why would you get on a trail like now? Like it just made no sense. So anyways, we like kicked him out. We did have like a bunch of chainsaws and stuff. So like we were like, it's gonna be fine.
Casual.
But here's the weirdest thing. So we go the next morning and we're all like, remember that weird fucking creepy guy? And
how did you all sleep? I would not have been able to fall asleep.
Okay, so to be fair, we were like working on a trail, so we had like a bunch of pigmatics and like shovels. We had like probably 5 or 6 chainsaws. Like I was like, if you really want to like do this, I was like, I don't want to murder somebody, but I will. Right. So, anyways, the next morning we go like off on the trail, like do our work for the day, and we come back to the site, and like right above like my tent, I had my laundry in a clothing line, and all of my underwear was gone.
No, bye. Did you quit? And get requested to, like, did you request for someone to drive you back to civilization and never go back to that area?
God. Also, whose underwear did you wear? Because what the fuck?
Just had to go with it.
Oh my God.
I literally didn't have underwear for I think like 8 days.
Oh my God.
I'm so freaked out. Like I have goosebumps right now. That's so
yeah, because you're literally out in the middle of nowhere. Like, yeah, you have like your teammates or whatever, but also like there's this creeper just stalking you guys essentially, and you don't know where he is.
It's also weird too because this was like off of like the Appalachian Trail, which obviously runs like from Georgia to Maine.
He could be anywhere.
Get on this trail from like wherever the fuck, and honestly, it's like there's a ton of anonymity on the trail. Like people use trail names, and like you just don't know. And there are like a lot of stories of like women getting assaulted like on the Appalachian Trail because
I believe
really
it.
Remote, super anonymous, and it was just like, well.
So did he look, I mean, I know it was nighttime, but did he look dirty, like he'd been like living in the woods, or do you think he was...
He looked like a regular guy, like a Ted Bundy, like someone like, listen,
oh my God.
In another situation, maybe would smash, but...
Oh my God, the hard pass because we're in the woods.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder, you know, was he like staying out there by himself? I mean, was he lying to you when he said he didn't have a place to stay? Because if he didn't have a place to stay, how? I just don't understand. There's so many questions.
It was really weird. That will stay with me for my whole life. It was so creepy.
That's literally why I don't go camping. Because I'm so scared some random person's going to come up to my tent or my campsite, and I'm not going to know what the fuck to do. Because that really does happen.
Like, it's literally just fabric. Like, are you safe? Not really.
No, you're definitely not safe. And, like, honestly, if I saw someone standing there, I would not, like, I'd be scared shitless. I'd just be, like, sitting there quiet, like, just eye contact till they'd kill me because I would be literally too afraid to scream.
I think I would be too.
Do you ever have those dreams where like something is bad happening and you can't yell? I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Sorry, that's
yeah, but you were like totally badass. You just started screaming and everyone else woke up. Like I would just be sitting there probably murdered.
I think I would be super paranoid that even if I was screaming, nobody would wake up and he would just come for me.
Oh my God, yeah, that too.
Yeah, it was just not a good situation.
And how old were you?
Probably like 22. So like.
Oh my God.
No.
No.
Hell no. Okay, moving on. Next story.
I am creeped out, but yes, next.
Also, this also happened in Maine.
Okay, never go to Maine.
Okay, I legit wanted to go to see Stephen King, and now I'm not going anymore.
I want to go for the lobster.
You're just gonna, like, go to Stephen King's house? Or, like,
yeah, like...
They know each other.
We're, like, friends.
So... I've seen Stephen King, like, in person multiple times.
Stop!
Shut the fuck up.
Because he lives near Sunday River, which is, like, a ski resort, and there's not, like... there's stuff around there, but, like, I've seen him at this, like, one market probably, like, 4 times.
Have you said hi?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh.
No.
I'm afraid.
He's gonna kill you?
A man almost murdered you in the woods, and you're afraid of Stephen King, bitch.
Yes.
Oh my god. Did he have his dog Molly with him? Like, I need to know more. I'm so jealous.
Very jealous.
But this is like probably, I mean, most of Stephen King, I think he does like all the towns are made up, but like everything is like essentially based on like Maine, because like Maine's creepy as shit.
Yeah.
There's so much land, it's so open, and there's like not that many people there. I also love Maine, but so I went to law school in Portland, and
Portland, Maine.
What?
Portland, Maine.
Yeah,
okay.
Which
just
I always have to clarify. People are like, oh my god, I love Portland. I'm like, we're not talking about the same Portland.
Do you really?
Yeah, because they never are. They're like, oh yeah, Maine, that's a place. But anyways, so I used to live in this place in Maine, which like also shout out to Maine if you're looking for low cost of living and like high quality life. I mean, it's very cold, but like I used to live in an apartment for like $400, and it was awesome.
Okay, like, BRB, I'm moving because I can see Stephen King, have snow, and save money.
I also like lived across the street from like water.
And
I thought you were about to say Stephen King.
Yeah, he's my dad. He's my father.
That's why I'm scared of him.
Yeah. So I used to live in this old house, and this is like so Maine. It used to be like a bed and breakfast in like the 1800s.
Wow.
And so I lived in this house, and when I first moved in, I was like looking to buy like some stuff, and I went to like, I don't know, the Salvation Army or something, and I found this really cool lamp, which I still have. And when I went to ring it up, the lady was like, are you sure you want this lamp? And I was like,
bitch.
Yes. And she was like, okay. And I was like, what a weird fucking thing to say.
Okay, first of all, fuck that lady for not explaining anything else. So, fuck her. Continue.
Yeah. But also, I didn't ask. I was just like, okay, weirdo. So anyways, so I bring the lamp into the house, and like immediately when I bring the lamp into the house, it starts turning on at like random times.
Oh my god.
Why do you still have it?
I lived in a really old house, so like there's probably faulty wiring, and like obviously when I tell my engineer dad, he's like, you need to get a grip on reality.
Dad's gotta love him.
You need to seriously get a grip. But anyways, so the light would like turn on like all the time. Like I'd be asleep, or I would come home and it would turn on whenever. And I was talking to my roommate about it, and she was like, well, yeah, this house is super haunted. And I was like, okay, whatever. So one time I was in the shower just washing my hair, and I felt like the most distinct feeling, and I'll never forget this. It kind of felt like somebody's hands were like resting the top of my hands, and I like had like a
oh my god,
like a body chill, like you know when it just goes from like your tailbone like all the way up like into your shoulder, and you're just like god. Whatever. So I was like, what the fuck? And then, like, of course, like, turn around really quick and nothing. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So towel off, whatever, open up the door, and my roommate is standing outside. And she goes, hands on your hands. And I was like, what?
What?
She's like, I told you we had a ghost. And I was like, what the actual fuck?
What?
I am in... I have no words right now, because I would shit myself in the shower if I felt hands on my hands.
It was so weird. And you know what the thing is? Like, I am not somebody who, like, really, like, believes in any of this shit. But, like, that, like, really, I was like, no, thank you.
How long did you live there after that?
A long time. That house was...
Rent was cheap, Caroline. Okay, were you not paying attention?
I mean... that's true, but also I feel like if I were to feel a ghost bro in the shower with me touching my hands, like, I probably wouldn't last long. Did anything else happen, or was that basically it? Was he just like, hey, I'm here?
Definitely, like, faulty wiring, probably, but, like, all of the shit, like, the TV would turn on and off, this lamp, like, there's just, like, all this stuff. It was just really fucking weird. But I also, she's one of my good friends, but my roommate at the time is, like, a real, like, city witch, you know? She's spooky. She's into some shit. And I'm like, you would be, like, living.
She's bringing it in.
She brought it in full force.
You should have done a...
fine with it. She was just like, yeah, there's a ghost, obviously. Like, what?
You should have done a Ouija board session.
No.
All right, y'all. Calm down.
My Ouija board.
You can fucking Ouija over in Alabama, but do not bring that to Florida, okay? We don't need any Ouijas here. We got enough meth heads and shit.
Next time I see you and Gordon, I'm going to be like, hey, guys, you want a Ouija? And Gordon will be like, get the fuck out of my house. Richie, divorce her.
Honestly, I feel like people are so sensitive. Like, I can't believe that you can even sell a Ouija board anymore, though. Like,
I mean, that's true, yeah.
You're not wrong.
Your own, which is kind of weird. I don't know how you make your own, but a lot of people do that.
How do you, like, add the spirits into your DIY board? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, when you go to friggin' Target, are the spirits already added?
I feel like it comes with the spirits. That's what you're paying for. If not, anybody can write A, B, C, D on a piece of paper.
Included. Like, nobody's trying to, like, be on Christmas and be like, fuck.
Jeez. I did a Ouija board one time and nothing ever happened, so I feel like I'll do it again, and then this is probably the next time I'll get completely fucked over and have a demon just walking behind me the rest of my life. Oh my god. So I feel like everything in Maine is haunted. It's just because when I think of Maine, I think of really, really, really old houses and, like, dreary weather. It just makes me, it's, like, got haunted vibes.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I grew up in New England. I feel like that's, like, kind of New England's vibe, like, spooky. That's why, like, every Halloween movie is shot in New England.
Yeah. I love it. I am so glad that we got to talk. I'm so glad I got to, like, finally hear your voice, because we just talked through Instagram, and it's been really great. I'm going to plug all your, I'm going to say all your social media. I mean, that one social media that you have. At Bay on a Budget. I'm going to, like, put it in the show notes. But do you have anything else you want to say?
No, just thanks for having me. I'm glad that we finally got to connect. I was actually, like, thinking about this. I was like, how did I even meet Caroline? I think I, like, found her Instagram and was like, I think this girl and I would be friends. I'm just going to, like, follow her and DM her and, like, all her stuff. Like
we said, trash humans unite.
We are trash.
I always, like, think that I found a nice person, and then I'm like, fuck.
You know, when Ariana and I connected, I really did not think it was going to go well because I thought she was, like, way better than me.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
No, I really did. I thought you were, like, on Kate's level because Kate is such a better person than both of us.
God. Kate is literally,
she's
like...
She's a
saint. She is.
What?
How do y'all know each other?
Our mans.
Our husbands are gaming buddies.
Gay mean buddies.
Gay mean buddies. So, her husband was... It's too fucking complicated, but they're friends. But when I first met her, I was like, no, she's way better than me. I'm a disgusting, trash human being. And then I was like, once we got to talking, and I'm pretty sure the first time I ever met her, she showed me her boobs, and I was like, yeah, BFFs.
Basically.
Also, one last thing, Caroline. Did you go to Alabama?
No.
You didn't?
I went to a technical college, Kendall.
I feel like I saw something like Alabama on your thing. So my boyfriend went to Auburn, and I always wear all his stuff, but then I'm like, Roll Tide, and it pisses him off so much. It's great.
Live in Alabama. I'm not by choice, but, you know, we don't agree with everything that goes on in Alabama. But we did not go to Alabama, but we rep it hard. Those colors look great on me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Anyway, Ariana, we still have to work on an outro, like what we're going to say.
Oh, yeah, true.
I feel like we deserve kind of like, okay, bye.
Okay, bye, thanks.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kendall. It was good to talk to you. I'm going to end the call now.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See ya. Bye.